Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Eyes 8.6. Now, just before starting this episode, was watching the news, saw a news story about a college, and college students were complaining about something. Won't go into it too much detail, but it was that they were using the term tribe for a group of products or something like that. And I know there's a lot of young people that watch this series, and this may not apply to you as individuals, but this definitely applies, and this may not even apply to those of you who live in Europe, but this definitely applies to American college students in general. Again, in general. And when I say in general, I mean 80%, 90% of them. It applies to them. Again, not every individual, maybe not you. You may be a well-informed, well-educated person, but excuse me, college students today are ignorant people. Ignorant. That means, for you college students, means you know nothing. You are uneducated. Oh, but I'm having a degree. No, you're uneducated. I am effing sorry. You are uneducated today. Their tribe, and they're using that word tribe, is maybe culturally appropriation of Native Americans, and we have to be concerned about the use of tribe. They're doing it wrong because they're using tribe. Are you that effing ignorant? Okay, people. Tribe is not a Native American word. Okay? Tribes. Oh, God. The tribes. That's I think a Roman word for the tribes of Rome. A group of people within the Roman city-state. They were tribes. And no, they didn't live in teepees. They didn't paint their faces. They were tribes. And a tribune, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and someone can correct me wrong, because no, I don't know everything, but I'm basically educated. A tribune is a leader of a tribe. A tribunal is a not necessarily a trial, but a judgment or something by a tribe or in front of the tribe. My God, and that's where it comes from. A group of people, they're tribes, and it's not necessarily in any way a primitive people. They have taken the Latin word for the group of people, the tribes, the tribunes, the an organized group of people, and applied it to small groups of people in the Amazon River Basin, or Native Americans when they were, smaller. Tribes have nothing to do with these groups of people originally, and using the word tribe in something, in anything, is not culturally appropriating from Native Americans. In fact, maybe we should start a movement that would ban the use of tribes for Native Americans. They have to call them something else. They can't call them tribes because they're appropriating Latin culture. They're appropriating European culture. They can't use those words. That is not right. That is cultural appropriation. They're using European terms for their organizations. So all these Native American Indian groups that call themselves tribes have to give that tribe back, because tribe is not appropriate. That is cultural appropriation from Latin culture. So you've got to give that back to the Latins. Can't use the word tribes. Oh my freaking God, people. Maybe Europeans know. Maybe everybody, you know, or not everybody. Let's say 85% of the graduates from French, German, Italian, English, Spanish universities knows that tribes were coming groups of people within organizations. I know I'm butchering it a little bit because it's been a long time since I looked at that here, and has also been term used much before it ever gets to, before they even figure out that there's land up here, long before even Leif Erikson shows up here. They were using like Celtic tribes over here. The Latins were, the Romans were using the term here for different, in Germanic tribes and other groups of people as well. Maybe you all know that. And again, I know I'm talking to people who watch this channel who have a interest in history, and so maybe you all know this stuff. But people who get through university and don't, and you know, and I'm not talking about some ignorant people, you know, or people that you might expect to be ignorant that like didn't make it through high school and don't have an education about history. And there are lots of people in the world, including in America, that don't have that historical educational background. Okay, and that's fine. Not everybody needs to have that. But you've gone or going through actively through a university, and when somebody brings up that topic, somebody else doesn't go, "Shut up, you're a fool," because tribes means this other thing to them. Somebody doesn't say that to them immediately and correct them. My God, or a professor. Do the professors who are the student advisors not go, "Oh, Miss Susie, tribe is an ancient Latin word that was used long before they ever discovered America to call a group of people or a group of whatever. So it has no ownership by Native Americans of any sort. You know, the word tribe." Oh my God. Okay, people, and I know a lot of you think I'm a extreme right winger, and a few of you have even used that term, extreme right winger, towards me. And this, I want constitutional limited government to work that is representative based, and yes, as part of that, there is a voting element to a representative. I want that to work. But when I understand the level of education people have, why should they have the right to vote? Just because they exist? Just because they're a member of society? They don't even know, even if the university educated elements of society don't know these basic facts. That tribe is, and okay, if you don't know that it goes back to Rome specifically, but know that there's tribes are used all over the world and long before Native Americans. So used for referring to people living in Gaul, people living in Germany, people living in Britain. So that's these people that have migrated to America use the term tribe to refer to themselves or some other sort of group. They're not culturally appropriating Native Americanism. They're using their culture, their views. And so these people get to vote. Again, I want that to be a successful way of organizing up societies, and to organize society, you have to have a governing element. I think there's a few anarchist idealists that may watch this channel, or maybe have driven them all away, but the idea that you don't have a governing element within society, meaning like law enforcement, to arrest somebody and try them by, through a trial to punish them. You just have anarchy Oh, hey, that's a bad person. Let me go stab him. Why is he a bad person? I don't know, but I just think he's a bad person. That's vigilantism kind of thing. If you have anarchism with, the idea of anarchism with no government is just insane. Now, limited government, small government, minimum government, those all still have the word government in them, and society needs to be organized up, and there needs to be governing elements, which are limiting elements within society. The most basic is law enforcement and trials. So when a group of your citizens claim that an individual or a group of its citizens claim that you've done something wrong, you have a trial, and there is a process that goes through that trial. This is a governing element within society. You have to understand that to understand society and government. And so government isn't just about armies and social welfare programs and building roads and running schools. I mean, that's part of government too, but government at its most fundamental level, you have to have governing elements onto a society. And the societies, and again, we have some people here around that periodically watch me, are maybe internationalists, and they want one world government, or want to do what, that just becomes one unchallenged, unless you're going to constantly have revolution, one unchallenged governing principle. But people don't all live or want to live the same way, and yet they may be wrong. And I been seeing some stories about like burqa bans in some countries, and I'm going, my God. I'm not saying you can't or you shouldn't be allowed to cover your entire body up, but to me that is just dehumanizing. And so so I'm again for freedom in America. You can't ban the burqa. Now you can make, and this is what there was recent thing in Quebec I was reading about, that like when you go for either you're working in a government office or you go to a government office like a court, you must uncover your face. They're not banning wearing the burqa as you're walking down the street, but once you go into a public building of the government kind of thing to deal with anybody, you must uncover your face. And so that's, you see in the way they've been talking about it is in a non-religious way. You see the governmental person's face, could be just a clerk, or could be the judge, or it could be a prosecutor, and they get to see your face. It's a face-to-face meeting. And so I get there's people and there's viewpoints that are want to cover and generally hide the body for sexual reasons, modesty, or whatever. And okay, that's acceptable. It's not my culture, but that's acceptable. But the idea that you can't show your face, or in some of these more extreme, they even have a gauze over the eyes, so you can't even hardly see the eyes. So you've just totally dehumanized this, and it's only the women, not the men. It's only the women. And so to the idea that limiting people's behavior by forcing them to uncover in certain situations, I am coming around to that because yes, I'm not saying, I don't know, Saudi Arabia or Iran must change to fit my viewpoint, but I just think that is an extreme viewpoint that millions of the people in the world do. But so this is why I believe in governments, and that one world, because I don't want to force Iran to live by my ways of wanting to organize a society, but I also don't want Iran to enforce their ways on my society. If I want to live in a society, I don't know, like France, that is banned wearing a lot of religious symbols publicly, including, and you can't wear like a burqa type or complete body covers at the beach. You either got to leave the beach, or you got to take that stuff off and expose yourself to a certain level, or you can't be on a French beach. Okay, that's the way France wants to organize its society. If they want to say everybody must be naked on the beach, okay, that's the way they're organizing their society. I may not, I may want to live in that society. I may not want to live in that society, but that's what they're organizing their society up to be as a governing principle. Because the real thing is not, oh, some woman has too much clothes on the principle on the beach. This is not the society that we want generally, and it's being overrun by people that are living geographically within our society, but not living as a part of our society. And so again, I'm not personally for banning anybody from wearing a burqa, but then maybe I'm sort of am, because I'm also, as I'm saying this, thinking, well, there's laws against wearing masks in the United States. Not everywhere, but there are laws against wearing masks in the United States. And I don't think they've been struck down by the Supreme Court. And I also know that they're not 100% enforced. The idea of the laws and rulings, I think New York City has a law against wearing masks on your face, is that you can't put a mask on your face and walk down the street, because then you might be going to rob a bank, or you might have robbed the bank, or you might just wander around, like, if any of you, great movie, the Gangs of New York. Is that it? I think so. But look, I'll maybe look that up or something. But oh, I'm blanking on it. But it's about sort of an extreme, overdone version of the gangs back in the 1970s in New York. And New York was being overrun by a lot of these gangs, and so you could have gang members hanging out on the street all wearing some sort of masks. Whether it's the Guy Fawkes mask that the anarchists like to wear nowadays, that was made popular in that cartoon or comic series. Blanking on some of this right now. But that the idea, and so that you can't just like all everybody hang around intimidation. We're the the New York bombers, and we all wear a black mask, or we all wear a clown mask and hang out on the streets and intimidate people and intimidate shop owners and people and whatever, and be able to rob. And you can't identify who you robbed. Well, they all look the same. It could be anybody, those guys with the mask on. And so that there is laws that make you that you can't cover your face within some of these cities, to stop criminal activity like that. That is the purpose. And it's also used to places to stop Ku Klux Klansmen from wearing the complete Klan outfit with the mask over their face. If you notice, most of the modern, and there are very few, and there's just like 30 people that get together for some Ku Klux Klan thing whenever they poke a TV camera at the group. They all have their faces uncovered now while they're wearing the white robes with the pointy hat, because of anti-Klan laws. They ban the idea that you're in public, not maybe on your own property, but in public you can't wear something that covers your face. This way we can identify people who commit criminal activity. So that, I guess, would ban the burqa. Now, of course, we also don't enforce it always, because, hey, we're coming up to Halloween here as I'm making this recording. Still a little ways away, but children, adults will put masks on their face. But a police officer can ask any one of them to take that mask off and show them his face, or permanently take it off if they think they're being a problem. So there is selective enforcement on that. So I can see that the idea that you can ban women from wearing the complete burqa, the thing that covers the face as well as all of the body, and that being constitutional, because it can be used to hide your identity from law enforcement, and not just when law enforcement asks, but other times where people identify who picked your pocket. Well, the woman in the burqa. Well, which woman in the burqa? How do you know it's her? choose the right, so that you have that sort of ability. And so maybe I am for banning the idea of women wearing burqas. That doesn't mean they can't fully cover the rest of their body or something else. Again, that's not my society and want to have happen. So sorry for this rant. I just was, as I was getting ready to start recording this, just the ignorance of these university students. And so this is why you need government, and who gets to participate into making decisions for the government scares me, because the people that founded the United States presumed that there would be a certain level of education. Okay, well, let's get started. For all that fun news. Yes, and I don't mean this to be purely as gamers rant about the world and why I have a channel. It might be something that's sort of kind of fun to do at times. But part of what... Oh wow, we've got to get more than one province. Really got to spread this out. Bomb these. They've killed that, so they're there. So you guys get across the... But part of like what I want to make this series for, and is not just this, so we're getting more and more coal, some more materials. Good. Is an examination of society. Uh-oh. Lost the battle. Oh, it's this division. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we've got to get these. I'm going to stop this. Part of what I'm doing is I want to see if the U.S. is... Yeah, we lost that. Is the U.S. going to respond doing this? Because also, as I am making Revolver Held, my friend who makes GGA, German Graphical Augmentation. You're counterattacking, but I didn't stop attacking because I didn't have ability to attack. Is making German graphical augmentation, but he's making a bunch of invasions, non-historical invasions that are scripted. You can read about his, most of you know where his thread is in the Black Ice Forum, and he says that he has about or more than or some sort of number of the Brazilians have taken the little Vichy territory that would have been used for invading. But we're down here now. Hopefully the Vichy will be able to apply us. Bunch of invasions, and I had talked to him a little bit about this before he really started making many of them, and he's making more now. 200 more events, which is going to be a good reason to play another campaign. But a few of you have asked, and I don't know how many people read the comments, and sometimes the people comment, and well after the initial big bunch of people watching. Right now it may be playing a 9 something version of Black Ice again, presumably as Germany, but not until I get done with this series. this series is far from over. So not until this series is done. So I'm not going to be ending this series. And I guess the defeat of the Soviet Union is sort of a logical place, but it's not good enough for me to want to quit this now. And yes, I'm to a point telling a story with this series, with just about anything I'm doing here. Not like a role-playing story, of course, but it is a story. And so I don't want to keep doing what I've been doing recently with a lot of the Hearts of Iron 4 stuff. Make 12 episodes and then stop. Oh, make 14 episodes. Make 3, make 6, then stop. Because I'm hoping for a daily series, or one that happens 3 or 4 days a week, that you're interested in, that you want to see what's happened next, what happens tomorrow, and that's part of what I want to do. So I want to get to a logical conclusion. Whether that means we do a U.S. invasion or not, I don't know, but I definitely going to go beyond this. Once this series is over, then we'll take a look at the current state of Black Ice. You know how long it takes me to make series and do things. They may be on 10 by that time, but I doubt quite that. But they may be on 9.5 or something by that point. But whatever it may be, that's then we'll take a look and see if there's 200 more events. Oh, and what a lot of the stuff he's doing is scripted invasions. And like I said, talked to him a little bit about, at least in basic theory, that would be on the idea of, because I went and I removed the checks to see if this was basically closed to the invasion, and some of the stuff that I talked about him with was like, well, maybe if keep the check in for this invasion, but do a Torch Light, which would just be a Morocco invasion, or do a if under certain conditions, control of some places here, do an invasion whether down here or look, where is the, yeah, here's the dividing line. Do an invasion somewhere in here. Maybe you should maybe have Port Sudan. We talk about the map and everything, but is it Port Sudan here? Yeah, okay, so that's down, so they've cut it off down below to keep it from, to limit the fields of battle. But but you know, do an invasion up in here or somewhere, if Germany is controlling some of this too much. Whether the actual province where the invasion is happening is under British or French control, that would end up just being reinforcements. And so to do some other non-historical invasion possibilities that are reasonable, with reasonable checks, just because we don't see the AI doing it anymore. Now the AI, I don't know how many, a bunch of you I know have been around for a long time. The AI, like Britain or whoever, used to do a lot of suicide invasions. So if you leave like this port or this port open, oh well, let's put in 3 or 6 divisions, and you can have 10 armored divisions here and just go blah, kill them all, no ability to retreat. Okay, leave it open, they invade, kill them all, and just rinse and repeat kind of thing through here, and just kill off the British Army through basically suicidal invasions that would have no effect. Now theoretically, they're supposed to be building up, in current air intelligence gives us some idea, 40 HQs of some generic sort. There, plus some specialty types. But the idea is that they're supposed to be building up the AI to do a non-scripted D-Day type thing, you know, and that get enough units together to, you know, put 20 divisions ashore along an area like this, and even whether that's going to be able to plow in and defeat Germany or not, it would at least, you know, be a real invasion. But the AI doesn't do that. Now, when have you really seen the AI do that? You know, they sort of kind of do some of the stuff out here in the Pacific, but it just sort of kind of. Look at America. Come on, people. Japan hasn't even taken out Midway. Now, maybe Midway now has a big, huge stack of stuff on it that they've taken out. Wake, sitting here. And yes, we've seen. Oh, well, see now, yep, the AI, Japanese AI, has taken out Hawaii, but still. And they've taken out Johnson Island, which really wasn't anything like this big. And it would be more like, and now this is obviously, this one island here or whatever is super big for the map, but it needs to be big enough to click on, but even that. So, and Johnson Island, if I'm not mistaken, is smaller than Wake by considerably, but, well, maybe not Wake. Because that's sort of Midway Island, and that's the main harbor, our main airport. I think there's some other areas you can sort of see the reef that goes around this area. It's damn small. But so since the AI doesn't do that, he's making some stuff to give Germany some significant, realistic, supposedly, we'll see when we play it. And I trust him to do a good job, but we'll just have to play it and see. So that's giving enough reason to maybe do another series. Notice this original title is a question mark on it, whether this is the last greatest German game. Okay, air defense now. Not enough rambling, probably too much, but who knows, I'll probably make more rambling. Oh, that's in the artillery. We'll stop that. That puts us positive, and we're still creeping up on that without major casualties, so self-propelled artillery brigades. Doing with tank destroyers, okay. Destroyers, assault guns, those are all grayed out or whatever. These are waiting for hard to read which is diesel and which is regular, and maybe just this one. High velocity guns up. Here maybe. Look like we're all pretty good for. Yeah. So I'm just sort of waiting to, not forever, but I'm just seeing if there's a. I saw some fleet, or that the submarine out here spotted, but since it was not a convoy, it didn't attack. And this. Oh, is that over here? Okay. Scattered. Well, top. Oh. Jaeger division. Nice to have it back. Scattered south of Blanca. Oh, I guess the other one died or something. Oh well, okay, now. Well. We're putting that on. We're gonna take these guys down to here. Base. So that we can try to keep the Vichy. So I saw a fleet, and I'm just waiting a little bit. Just I want. Oh, oh, up, 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 up. There we go. They see. This is interesting. I know. Gamer's almost speechless here. Yeah, they've got us pinned here. I mean, just with a BS force here. This is interesting. This is interesting. Because obviously, I don't think they're gonna. Well, I guess theoretically they could. Because the U.S. Because if you remember that last British series, and you can go check out a few of the late episodes, and since you can see what in there, you know, they've got armored divisions defending, you know, Oklahoma and other places deep in here that they could be putting out on there. The U.S. could really be pounding hard, but I don't think the U.S. I'm gonna go there with you. Those guys we were early to get out. You're still going there, but then to there. I don't think they're going to plow us over and push us out of North Africa. I'd be actually sort of pleased, you know, with the force that's here, if they did that to us, because, man, that's the kind of thing I would expect from a human player. Get organized up enough and really be able to plan a operation. Now you can see here we've got a lot of. I took advice from the thread, the comment section, and am upping a bunch of the, because it'll be done in January, which I think it's good that we don't try this invasion in winter here. I don't quite know the, you know, starting at least the exact winter effects in this part of the world with black ice. So we're moving, we're preparing, we're getting ready for the Turkic invasion here. And as part of that is along here, and especially some of the more deep red, like here, and Napa, so that if, and even some of the provinces along here, like this one and this one, that one is, oh, this one is, oh, okay, well, because I'm not, I unfortunately the AI, and I would love to see and know how, why it doesn't sort of plot along, whether it sort of wants to but realizes if it follows this somehow, I don't know, the supply tax, you know, because it gets taxed each time it moves through the province, so it's cheaper to go from here to here to here as opposed to going around this way, because that's two extra or one extra province. But maybe that's that, but I don't even think it calculates that. And so I like that, like here is there's no possible supply coming through here, so it goes around the marshes, the Pripyat marshes here. But I would be doing much more building up of railway lines if I thought supplies actually would move along them, and I would make that much more efficient. But I am coming into these places and just upping most of it by one. Not a big improvement, but just some improvement. Get that going, so I party route. That will help us out. Well, that will probably reduce our, okay, now we are closing the landings. Good. National Guard, Dust Devils, Reserve, and Cougars. Thought they might have been coming to there. reinforce that. They're winning. Yeah, so hacking into the Cavite strip, isn't that what that is? Cavite strip. No, it's long as it. I know I was ranting it earlier about how uneducated modern university students are. And no, like I say, not everybody needs an education. I don't look down on people who haven't gone through higher education or anything like that. There are a lot of people, actually a lot of the smarter people nowadays are bypassing higher education and getting good technical education, some like in things like programming. But if you really want to make money in America, so if you're a young person and you want to make money in America, become a plumber. I'm serious. Or be an electrician, you know, the guy who wires up a building. Not a drywaller, not a just base construction guy, but somebody who has a skill set like that, and you will make more money than I'm making now. Yes, you got to physically work more so than like a programmer or something, but a lot of these people are very smart, but they're just not educated necessarily. Some are either educated or self-educated, and that's good and that's fine. And but the idea that, oh, you've gone to university or you're going to university, and so you're doing that, to me, just oh, you're going right to the top. I'm tired of clicking. Get that done. So, and you don't know things, and when you're that ignorant, oh yeah, that's, we didn't have the party rallies. Why that went up? Okay, that makes at least some sense. And you don't know these things, and then you make a big stink about the stuff you don't know. That's when I really start looking down on you. And no, I don't know everything, as you can tell. I don't know everything, and I know I don't know everything. And it's fine not to know everything. Can't know everything, I should say, but these guys here, we have bombers. No, not port strike, we want ground attack. The infantry unit training advances. Great. You can see organization plus structure time. Okay. Training is this one. Okay, so not that I don't want to do 42 as we approach 43 text, but I want to more fully get the 41 text done. The board. We give them money for fuel. I really don't think we need that fuel. I'm nothing. Spain. Yes, you can have energy. I would have bought a small amount of fuel from Spain, Portugal, or most of these other neutrals. Small amounts. You're getting annoying. Still getting annoying. This is interesting. You have a pinning attack, which keeps me. They're gonna retreat. That's just annoying tactic. for Africa. I think we can beat the meat hacking. Okay, guys. Well, no, you're almost there. Trying to disrupt there. Okay, well, January 1st started the global balance game effects. Happened to us, so heart attack minus, we've lost these effects and we've got these. Sort to balance things out, obviously, as like the title says. And we have, well, we're going to do all this next episode. I think it's time to end this episode. I want to thank everyone for liking the videos. I want to thank you for watching. And of course, if you haven't already, as they tell me in YouTube school, gotta ask you, subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, please post questions, comments, suggestions, ideas, corrections, your thoughts on the state of education and should uneducated people be allowed to exist? No, that wasn't what I said, of course, but you know what I mean. Thanks so much. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.